The Quran tells us in chapter 2, verse 183, fasting is prescribed to you as it was prescribed to those before you. Today we have evidence from research that fasting was practiced by virtually all peoples across civilizations at different times throughout human history. For the Egyptians, fasting was often associated with purification and preparation for religious ceremonies or to honor their gods. In ancient Greece, fasting was practiced as a form of purification and to prepare for certain religious rites or festivals, or as part of initiation rituals. The Romans also observed fasting, particularly in connection with their religious festivals or to appease their gods. In Zoroastrianism, fasting was prescribed as a form of penance and spiritual discipline, but they avoided prolonged fasting because they believed it weakened the body and the mind, which were both gifts from the Ahura Mazda, their supreme god. In Judaism, fasting has been a significant practice for centuries, including days such as Yom Kippur and Tisha B'Av. Fasting is associated with repentance, with mourning, and seeking divine favors. We might be more familiar with the practice of fasting in Christianity during Lent, a 40-day period of fasting, prayer, and penance leading up to Easter. This is the type of fasting that emulates the practice of Jesus, Prophet Isa, alayhi wasalam, who fasted for 40 days in the wilderness. Before Islam, the Arabs of Mecca and the surrounding regions observed fasting as part of their religion. The tribe of the Quraysh, for example, fasted on the day of Ashura, practice which was later established in Islam. Hindus fast some on specific days of the week or in honor of certain deities. Fasting is prescribed, for example, during Navratri, Ekadashi, Mahashivatri, and so on. Their practices vary, with some people abstaining from food entirely, whilst others avoid specific types of food. In Buddhism, fasting is practiced as a form of self-discipline and a way to cultivate mindfulness. The monks and the nuns often observe fasting as part of their ascetic practices, particularly on Uposatha days, the days of observance. Across many indigenous and tribal cultures around the world, you had the practice of fasting as part of their spiritual traditions, often used in rituals to seek visions, communicate with spirits, or in preparation for important ceremonies. Across the various civilizations, fasting demonstrated some common themes and purposes. There was the spiritual dimension that included elements such as the spiritual purification. By abstaining from physical needs, individuals cleanse themselves of impurities and focus on their spiritual growth. Fasting, therefore, becomes a means of purifying the body, mind, and soul. There's the element of symbolism or sacrifice. Fasting is seen as a form of sacrifice, demonstrating commitment to spiritual principles and a willingness to give up worldly comforts. There's an element of penance and repentance. Many traditions use fasting as a way to seek forgiveness for sins or for wrongdoings. It is often associated with remorse, a desire to make amends or acknowledge wrongdoings and seek forgiveness, and stifle one's ego. Seeking divine favor or guidance is also an element that features, where fasting is practiced to draw closer to God, to seek blessings, or to gain spiritual insight. It's seen as a way to demonstrate devotion to and submission to God. Also within the spiritual context, you have the commemoration of sacred events. Fasting is frequently tied to religious events, historical occurrences, or holy days. It serves as a way to honor and remember these moments. Beyond the spiritual themes, you also have physiological themes that feature, such as self-discipline and self-control. And through that, fasting teaches restraint and self-discipline, helping individuals to overcome desires and impulses. This is seen as a way, for example, to strengthen willpower and to strengthen character. Physical and mental detoxification also features. Fasting is seen as a way to detoxify the body and mind, promote health, and promote clarity of focus. It is often seen as a complementary to spiritual goals and serves as a means to enhance holistic individual performance. There are community solidarity themes that feature. A common one that we hear of is empathy and solidarity with the less fortunate. By fasting, we are able to build empathy for those who suffer from hunger or poverty. By experiencing hunger firsthand, individuals are reminded to be charitable and be compassionate. There's also a community and a shared experience dimension. Fasting brings communities together, creating that sense of unity and shared purpose. It's frequently observed collectively by the community during specific times or leading up to specific festivals. While the rituals and the context of fasting varies across different civilizations, core essence is rooted in sacrifice, in reflection, in devotion, and that remains remarkably consistent across different civilizations. By considering common threads that weave through the fasting practices of both ancient and modern civilizations, what we see is its enduring relevance in fostering personal growth, community solidarity, and a deeper connection to the divine. It's an established means of purification, self-discipline, empathy, and is often seen as a profound expression of humans' quest for meaning, for connection, and transcendence, a testament to human aspiration for spiritual elevation and for moral integrity. We can establish and grow a stronger, direct relationship with Almighty Allah, and in doing so, live the best life for this world and the next.